Yeah, how are you?
Oh.
I'm told everything's over.
You saw a picture?
No.
I come through there yesterday. It was my last load of corn coming back, and I come through there, and it was raining.
Yeah.
I had my last load, and I was waiting for a day when it was gonna be nice. You know, I always second out of the truck wash the truck and the trailer and it rained.
Raining.
Yeah.
Never rained.
Rain from,
last time.
Rain yesterday afternoon. About Hale, north of Hale. And,
Kind of nasty down in Alcona.
Yeah, and I just went in and John told us. Yeah. Not long ago. They're all pushed. He's right on this edge.
So we're on the air right now.
yeah.
Taking care of stuff.
Dan, can you hear us?
Yep, sure can.
Very good.
Just want to make sure John hit the right buttons.
We are on there. Inside on yesterday.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
You guys okay if I put that chair over there?
Sure, which chair, that one? Yeah, you take it.
Oh, it's just next to the chair. I'll call it.
Okay, it is 1:30. We will go ahead and call the meeting to order. Dear God, please help us this day as we move forward on behalf of the county and the citizens within the county. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. This time roll call, please.
Gothier is via Zoom today. Breggy is absent.
Excused.
Excused. Small.
Here.
Thompson.
Here.
Berman.
Here. Thank you. We've all had an opportunity to review the minutes of the January 19th meeting, and the special meeting on January 21st. What is the pleasure of the board?
Motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate affirmatively aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same. Motion carries. Thank you. At this time, there are a couple of modifications I would like to offer for the agenda and ask if there are any others by the board members present. Under unfinished business, we would like to add the ARPA update from the committee. Under new business, we would ask, there are two motions that the personnel committee is bringing forward, both having to do with COVID. We would add those to the, also under presentations, I would add that besides Mr. Cheek's presentation on the PIEUG broadband, that there also would be a request for, if the board is so inclined, to approve a letter and authorize the chairman to sign. It is would be addressed to Preschool Isle Electric and Gas, and it ultimately would ask for the board chair's signature. Are there other additions that I don't wish to at this time? Okay, thank you both. Public comment, please. Limited to 3 minutes. Please give your township and your name in reverse order. Any public comment? Any public comment on the Zoom? Hearing none, we will close public comment. And at this time, Mr. Chief,
Yes.
we would welcome your presentation.
Hi, everybody. Last Wednesday, the 26th, the agency had a meeting here that included Adam and Dan, and I guess we had to keep it to just two because of quorum issues and such. As we were under NDA with Preschool Gas and Electric, along with Connected Nation. So we had an open discussion about if you have any time to read the actual report from the mapping and you paid attention to the recommendations, you saw in there that there was a very strong recommendation to look at what other counties and townships are doing in regard to sidling up with electrical co-ops. The main reason being that they have infrastructure in place, poles, and that would expedite any kind of project in Alcona County. So we brought sort of everybody together to sort of explore that. And the net result of the meeting was two things. We discussed the possibility of Alcona County entering into a memorandum of understanding with PIEUG to explore the possibility and what it would take to do a build here in Alcona County. Ahead of that, they requested from us that we send them a letter of intent, a simple letter of intent, which I think is in the packet, that basically states that we're asking them to enter into an MOU and that's been approved by the commission. So we're here today to get that approved. But I'm open for questions. Like I said, if you paid attention to those requirements, and Chip Span from Connected Nation was here on Wednesday, and he made a big case for complete coverage of the county versus a little bit here and a little bit here, and he was very sort of discontented with what he found in the study, which was way less than what was either mapped by other legacy providers or not there at all. So his recommendation from Connected Nation was to explore work with an electrical co-op. That's why I'm meeting on Wednesday, and that's why we're here today. First and foremost would be a letter of intent to approve for the board Preschool. Any other questions you might have about any of this?
If I may, before we go into the questions, a statement that was brought forward from that meeting or as part of that meeting, I would like to share with the board members at this time. Currently, electric cooperatives are a natural option for bringing.
Fiber to the home.
Say it again for
Not
me.
TTH, fiber to the home.
Thank you. High-speed internet services to rural areas, especially with due respect given to the lack of incumbent service providers providing this area in these rural areas. These co-ops have existing relationships with their current member base and a significant history of reliable, cost-effective service, as well as proven record of project management and construction. Given these factors and the overdue necessity for current FTTF high-speed internet services in rural, underserved communities like Northeast Michigan, the number of electric co-ops branching out into FTTH high-speed internet services seems likely to grow. Dan and Adam, on their behalf, are, although not with us today, well, Dan is, to determine through open discussion, as Doug has suggested, if there is substantial opportunity that exists for joining PIUMG's electric co-op, and is it something feasible for Alcona County to become part of? I think with that, do you have any questions for Doug?
I guess a big part of things, the meeting discussion before. My first question would be, you're setting up something for the whole county? Is this what?
This is the goal. The
Oh,
goal is to get coverage countywide.
and this company is going to provide that coverage?
So we'll see. We're at this point where we need to know more about the building the plan. They are already building out their 33,000 members of the co-op. They have a solid technological plan. They're in the process of building. And they can do this two ways. You can wait till they satisfy all their members, which might take some years. Or they'll do something, if the board will approve it, I think they will. There was a board member here at PIUMG on Wednesday. They do what they call a program build. So you would work with them to muster the proper resources, financially, consultants, things like that, put together a plan so that that build can happen, not necessarily tied to the membership bill. So this is our, in my opinion, our best chance, because the infrastructure part of this bill is low impact. Tom Sawyer, the CEO of Preschool, has had conversations with the head of Consumers Energy. They have agreed that use of consumers poles in Alcona County will be available. That's huge. That's huge. Infrastructure in place. Anybody with electricity is going to be able to get the fiber connection. Yes, so choose.
So we're actually, it sounds like the skill, which has very few poles on our property,
Yes.
is actually going to be partnering with consumers to make the system work.
Yes, that's part, that's one element of this.
Okay.
Yes. So,
And
beyond that,
consumers, I'm sorry, but consumers has agreed to put stuff on their.
I have to, we need to get under the MOU. We will get that information more. But talking to Tom, we said it out loud in the meeting we were at the other day. They have had great discussions with consumers. And I can tell you that I tried to get consumers to do this a year and a half ago. They didn't want to hear it. All of a sudden now in the last year, they realized that there's an opportunity for them as well.
Financial gain. So we,
I expect, I don't know, but in Prescool's case, they're co-op, so
Yeah.
they're not the profit group. And any money that they make at the end of the year, after everything's said and done, if it's $1 million, they go back and share it with the members of co-op. So from my perspective, that's a pretty good reason to start the process we're trying to start. The investigation, more understanding of what those finer points that you're referring to look like. But it doesn't start without, letter of intent and then possibly MOU back to us. And we'll have a say in the MOU too. It's not going to be one way. So, just that.
Does that answer your question, Terry?
I'm so far, I'm good.
Okay. You have any questions?
No, not at this time.
Okay. I'd like to read the letter so that our guests are aware of what the letter is that we're asking the board to approve. This, as I said, is addressed to PIUMG Board of Directors. Please take this communication as a letter of intent for developing a memorandum of understanding between Alcona County and Preschool Electric and Gas Co-op for the development and expansion of broadband and infrastructure and service into Alcona County. Our Economic Development Committee, through extensive research, have found that rural counties with the most successful broadband development in Michigan have partnered with utility co-ops. As your infrastructure already exists in our county, and after reviewing your plans, we feel it would be a beneficial arrangement. We look forward to your response and the possibility of working together to help the citizens of Alcona County get vital access to broadband service. And it would be signed under Chairman Brady's signature. Do you have any further questions? Gary?
And
You're all
this is,
set?
this is a letter just to start it, but just an intent.
Right.
Letter of intent is
I make a
actually,
motion to allow the board to accept the intent letter and have Adam sign it, the chair sign it.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and supported that we approve the letter and authorize the chair to sign. Any discussion further? Hearing none. I'd ask that we do a roll call on this, please. Madam Clerk.
Thompson,
Yes.
Brumman,
Yes,
Small.
Yes.
so is there anything else at this time that we can do for you?
no, nothing, unless you have further questions, and you know how to get a hold of me if you do. My job is to sort of shepherd through this and get you to the best point you can. As an aside, two things. One, I know that we serve at the pleasure of the commissioners. We did have a resignation this week. Sue Hay. They moved to Midland. And she's gonna get community service involvement there. She got a full-time job. So we'll be looking for a couple of people for our committee. And they'll bring those letters of interest to you when you get them. Wonderful. Okay. What was the second?
Excuse me, but is there somebody to contact you particularly?
Yeah, we're on the county website.
Okay.
And you can
Yeah.
contact us through our county BBC at
I
gmail.com.
know a couple of people back there.
And they have, there's a phone number there too. If they leave a message on the county line, it sends me a WAV file. And then I can do that. One of the things we're gonna do over the coming weeks is we're gonna do a little vetting on the consulting side. There is gonna be needs, certainly above my pay grade when you get to this point and beyond this point. If you look at how other counties and townships have done this, they have employed consultants, both technically and on the accounting and audit side. But now you're talking about money, grants, things like that that need to be managed at a very high level to satisfy the grant application. So there are a couple of groups already working in Michigan, and both approved by the Michigan Association of Counties. And there are a couple others we're considering, of course, Connected Nation as well. Would be a perfect fit for the technical side.
I was gonna say they're already involved, aren't they?
Well, yeah, but they provide a lot of different services other than just that. So we're sort of getting all that kind of coalesced and put together, and then I'll send you all an email with links and names and people like that. And if you want to start looking into it yourselves, you can, and we'll work along with you. So that's coming soon.
I kind of look at this like, let's get in at the beginning, where the dog chooses food rather than at the tail end where the police court.
Where it comes up. Yeah, we need to kind of stay ahead of
They're
the
so
curve.
diplomatic, you two.
Stay ahead of the
So
curve.
diplomatic.
But anyway, thank you for your time.
Thank you for all the effort you've been putting. into
Larry, do you
this
have
stuff.
anything to add to this?
No, you hit it right on the head. It's a possibility of a great opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nobody else who's knocking on our county door saying we want to put broadband in. The ones that are here are pretty much as the kind of stated, they're not going to move anymore because it isn't financially viable for them. So it could be a good opportunity. Could be. We're not there yet. So,
But it's the first step.
It is very much.
it is the first step.
If you don't take
And
the
there was
first one,
interest. I think
can't take a
Doug and I
second.
could both agree there is, like I said, the chair was here, their board, and there is, I would say there's an interest. They are measured, they operate by a board, and so
Their intent is to keep going south. Past us, Minnesota and east
As
out.
soon as they finish us,
Let's
help them move on.
actually, if we do the off-program program, it will be the first time that that's been done that way for a co-op. So Alcona County becomes a kind of a guinea pig, but at the same time, we're leading.
Okay.
We have the best view right now.
If you wanna, if there's any direction, that isn't really direction, it's observation. And watch the opening news, watch the papers up north, because I think there's been a couple of articles on how successful their build is happening, or their website. And the more successful they are with what they're doing in their own home field, it's gonna help us. So as they perfect what they're doing, that's good signs for us.
You'll remember we brought a couple providers in earlier on in August. And we did a little presentation. And there were a lot of things that were kind of amorphous in that, but the ground that they've covered from then till now, in terms of their operations, their billing cycles, all the software and everything that they put together, it's pretty phenomenal what they've done. And they too are working with a consultant. It's called Connexon. And so that company seems to have multiple fingers in the pie. But at the end of the day, I will honestly say that there are consulting services in our future. So we do have funds that are dedicated to broadband. A lot of these firms will come in under the $1,000. I don't know how it works in county. Anything over 50 has to go out. Anything under 50, maybe not, if you're comfortable with that particular service provider. So we'll get to that.
Do you have any figures right now as far as what they will?
I've only seen one number come in, and it's 49.5. So.
I wonder why.
Yeah, well, they know.
Surprise,
And a
surprise.
lot of it's Chinese money, right? You can pick and choose what consulting services you think we need, and our consultants and our folks will help us figure that out. I know that everybody thinks that they're all in it for the money, but they're doing this all over Michigan, upper Michigan. So maybe we'll get some references.
Just to add on with you, Doug, there, I mean, one of the things, and I think it came up with Chip and the other, Tom, you know, there's never been this much money dedicated for broadband from the feds, from the state. And, you know, whoever the consultant is, we're gonna want them to be well-versed and ready to grab grant money, ARP money, I don't even know who knows what acronym will be on it in 6 months from now, but yeah, there's a lot of dough that's gonna be available, but that is available, it's just waiting for a place to go. So
There are a lot of options.
yeah,
I mean, you can go as far as the county could own middle miles infrastructure. I mean, there's just a lot of opportunity, none of which we're focused on a specific one. It's going to be a discovery process, I guess.
I would say just as if you file it away, any grant that actually happens, please try to make sure that a copy gets to our treasurer.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, a lot of what I understand happens here is actually, we make contract with them. But we are not
No,
the main
fiduciary on it.
the fiduciary, and it could be NAMCOG, it's like we use NAMCOG for the study. So we're kind of moving into that phase now, where we have to find out about how we want to do this. Yeah, and if we.
Well, on behalf of the board and certainly our citizens, we think EDC has worked hard on this, and I appreciate that. We all do. So, and well, we've showed great leadership in that too.
Happy to do it.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Come back when you don't have.
I have nothing.
You don't have to. Just come back and see
I
us.
keep saying I'm gonna retire from my retirement one day.
All right, thanks again. Okay, under unfinished business, the RT for the audit advertisement. I did not see anything in our packet.
So what Stephanie explained to me was that she was going to get the actual advertisement together. And then we needed to know how many times we need to run it. But I don't believe that we've advertised for this since maybe 2016. So we may have to create an advertisement.
we believe if there's,
Do you know more about that? Because I think
Steph should be able to go out on the internet and find out the protocol for advertising on
she
a,
was gonna check it out.
yeah. And that will give her the rules and regs and what needs to be said first.
And I would think that the treasury department would also have some guidelines. Since so much of it backs up to them ultimately.
Your audit. That's your audit. It's your audit of
Oh,
the
yes.
records. That's what you require.
Right,
Whatever your intent and purposes are for the auditors.
but most of our requirements are based on what we have to submit though, to. Are they not? Maybe on.
I guess I'm not sure what you're asking. Sorry.
I think we're trying to say that you guys, when the audit happens, you guys look at most of it. It's part of your meeting. So, in other words, they're gonna be in your offices looking at their books. So, is that not correct about it?
They're your book.
Right. But
That's what I'm saying.
It's your office, so that's gonna be it.
If they have questions in regards to revenues, they generally would come to my office. If they have expenses, that is, she's the first, this office is the first line, but you guys are ultimately who's created the budgets and who's accounting for the budgets. So I don't have any insight onto what was put in the request for proposals in any prior years. I've never been involved in the selection of the auditors. I've never been involved in that. I've just been providing information to them when requested.
It's possible we could touch base, start to touch base with a few other counties and see if they have recently done it.
And that's what Steph was looking into. She was waiting for some contact back on that. And then we also wanted to touch base on how many times we need to run that advertising.
Thank you. An update on the ARPA committee?
Well, we had two items that we took to the committee. One was the motion that was last 2 weeks ago on use of COVID pay for actual sick time due to COVID. And it was discussed that it was not a good fit at this point because of we deal with the overall loss factor, and that it would sort of muddle up the calculations of smidgen by doing the sick time separately. So we recommended not to move forward on that, that if you're sick and unable to work, you basically would be using usage of sick time as normal. The other topic was the preschool daycare proposal that was brought to us. Again, throughout the different rules that we could find and read, it talks of an assistance rather than starting from scratch and looking and actually building one. So again, that we discussed it and felt that there were other fun avenues that actually help start up businesses, and that if that organization wanted to go that way, that would be more allowed than using the art funds for that purpose. And so both of them were basically denied using art funds.
Any questions?
Recommended, denied, which is a board decision. You can choose
It
to.
was,
Ultimately,
Absolutely.
We need a motion.
yeah, probably,
I don't think so.
well, it was a recommendation to the board that we deny it, so we probably
You're
should.
changing the motion.
We're updating that last motion,
Okay, so
but I think it probably wouldn't hurt to approve the recommendation.
What is the pleasure of the board?
let's say if you're gonna change something, you have to make a motion to affect that.
Well, it's, that would have gone in play if the RFPA concurred.
Is that, I didn't hear that. Well, I'm trying to remember the motion. I don't.
Well, there is,
remember.
it's in the minutes.
Okay.
That was last week.
on the second page, it talks about, okay, motion made on the 17th, all departments upon presentation of illness are unable to work by an employee due to COVID, utilize the policy as attached upon approval of ARPA committee. And the committee basically did not approve that usage. So that would sort of null and void that particular motion.
But if either one of you prefer to have a motion and support, I'll be happy to call a vote on it.
Let's do a motion on what was,
Who'd like to move? Who'd like to support?
I moved the motion, a recommendation from the ARP committee to deny both those two usage.
Well, second.
Thank you both. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please indicate affirmatively aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same. Motion carries. Thank you both. Moving on, claims. Where's finance when you need it?
Go ahead, you can read.
Okay, I can read
Please.
you, right?
Please.
Moved by Brumman, supported by Small, to approve pre-authorized claims and open claims presented for payment between 1/19/2021 and 2/1/2022 for check numbers 146,561 to 146,678, and e-check numbers 1775 to 1787 for grand total of $463,453.26. Discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Small,
Yes.
Brumman,
Yes,
Thompson.
Yes.
we have taken care of our PIE&G letter. Moving on, the Alcona Township Floodplain Management Resolution. I meant to get with Dan before the meeting, and I did not. I am not comfortable at this time voting affirmatively on this. Conceptually, yes, but I think there are some uncertainties in my mind. But what is the pleasure of the remaining board members?
Can we table this?
I'm gonna move to table.
Yeah, I'll move the table, the,
To the next meeting
to the next meeting, the floodplain insurance.
and support?
Second.
We have motion and support to table the floodplain Alcona Township to the next meeting. All those in favor, please indicate affirmatively aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same. We have an updated COVID exposure. I will see that both of you get a copy of this. If you believe you have COVID or have been exposed to COVID, you are directed, I'll see that and get one more of them. You are directed to inform your supervisor. If you cannot reach your supervisor, leave a message and then contact a member of the personnel committee, which would be either Bill Thompson or Carolyn Drummond. This can be done via phone or email. If you have tested positive with COVID, you are not to report to work. You are to quarantine for not less than 5 days and have a current negative COVID test before returning to work. According to CDC, this is a quote, isolate when you are sick or when you have COVID-19, even if you don't have symptoms. Going on, if you think you have been exposed to COVID, if you are fully vaccinated, including the booster, you do not need to quarantine unless you develop symptoms. If you are not fully vaccinated and you think you have been exposed, you should stay home and quarantine for not less than 5 days. This quarantine is a 5-day quarantine, and the first day is actually considered day 0, then 1 through 5. So if exposure happened on a Sunday, Sunday is 0, 5 days, then makes it Friday as your 5th day. Watch for symptoms and test on or about the 5th day or the day after the symptoms have gone. According to CDC, again, this is a quote, quarantine and stay away from others when you have been in close contact with someone who has COVID-19. And the second or additional quote from CDC. Well, this is not a quote. Additional information may be viewed and the website is listed there. We would like to ask approval, Personnel Committee would ask approval of this effective today. And there is a staff meeting scheduled for tomorrow afternoon to review this with senior staff.
I make a motion to accept the updated COVID exposure positive testing directive and move forward with it for the rest of the personnel.
Second.
Thank you both. Discussion?
Yeah, I wanted to make sure that if there are questions, if they go out to that additional information, the web page was a real easy to understand. It had definitions of what exposure was versus what quarantine meant, and it sort of went through, and that's why it was easier to pick up some of their directives. It was well thought out, so if the department heads would like to, they could go out there and review, and that's where this came from, is based on that.
Department heads will be getting a copy of what I just read tomorrow.
And they will also get, I think, the first 4 pages of this website that talks about, if you do this, this is what you should do.
There's a motion on the floor. Further discussion? Hearing none. A roll call, please.
Thompson,
Yes.
Brumman,
Yes,
Small,
Yes.
thank you all. Our second motion that is coming forward, and I realize we're doing it outside of the personnel committee. I do. Reads, based on the recommendations of the ARPA committee, the personnel committee is submitting the following motion for adoption. This motion negates the prior motion of January 17th, 2022. Move to be effective January 17th, 2022, that absence due to COVID will be treated as regular sick time. That comes forward from personnel and would welcome either modifications or a motion and support to approve it.
I'll make that motion.
This is a change of that motion.
Yeah, but we should have, this is a double dip on that. We did that. We already discussed what the recommendations was,
And I will second.
Thank you both. Further discussion? Hearing none, again, I'm going to ask for a roll call. Sorry about that, but
Brumman,
yes,
Small,
Yes.
Thompson.
okay. Is there further new business that either one of you have to bring forward at this time? Hearing none, we would ask for the finance committee's report. For the, we don't,
well.
nice
Dan-
job there, Dan.
He can't talk.
Personnel, again, we
We-
handled all of it through here. Treasurer's report, is what I really meant, is going forward.
Treasurer's report. I was off last week and went to a conference the beginning of this week, learned a lot of good information that we'll be implementing moving forward. I've been working in the past week on the accruals for the 2021 year. I have one more, the last round of checks, they're slowing down. Everybody's getting their stuff in. There were a few oddballs and things that came in that weren't properly identified as 2021, but we're going through those right now. Revenues as well. We did get some that didn't have dates on them. We get some from the state and didn't get information from the department. We're looking into those. We're trying to do the best we can to get everything in the proper channels. For last year, to wrap it up, the majority of the information that has been coming through, it has there are minimal changes. Looks like we're looking at ending on a positive note financially for the 2021, better than in the past. So that's a positive sign. That's about all I have We did send out notifications for pending forfeitures, so the phones have been ringing off the hook. And I don't think there's anything that I can think of.
Any questions?
Yeah, any questions anybody has specifically?
Hearing none, moving on, clerk's report. Deputy Clerk.
Basically, we have just finished up W-2s and 1099s are completed. And the only other thing I had on my list was regarding the ads on running the RFPs, but that's something we're gonna look into, so that's really all we've got right now.
Any questions for the clerk? Hearing none, then move on to communications. Any questions or any communication that was in our packet that you wish to bring forward at this time? There's one.
That survey, I guess I'm sitting on my board right now, but I really don't have that information that I can go forward and complete that survey. It's Dan's survey, it's Dan's board. I'm just pitch hitting for him going to that board.
Right.
That survey is an ARPA survey, and I don't know those figures, basically. I can find them. So I don't know if Dan wants to try to do that survey, or it's just not that important that we do it.
Well, I think we should try to do it if possible.
I haven't looked at it. I can go out there and see it.
During public comment, maybe Dan can share with us, if you would, Dan. Anything else on communications that anyone has? If not, committee reports, Jerry.
Yeah, attended the Board of Health meeting. Nothing really to report from there. The veterans are moving forward with their building. And the impact one, they have a program they're kind of pushing. It's more of a study, or they want to have a company do more of a study into wages, benefits, and that sort of thing. This is something apparently that they're already doing. They do it every 3 years. And what they want to do is have another company come in and do it. And we would either help feed them the information, or they can come in themselves and information. And it would be a more up-to-date survey study of the area of all the wages, deputies, and such and such.
Other than what Medicom's doing?
Right, and NEMCOG is kind of recommending them, and we had a presentation from them at that time, at the last meeting. So I would
But you
recommend.
said Veterans Affairs is promoting this. Veterans Affairs is. or
No,
Veterans is-
this is
Oh.
NEMCOG.
Oh,
NEMCOG
no, I'm
itself.
sorry. you jumped.
I'm sorry, I
I
jumped.
apologize. I
No,
apologize.
my
I was
fault.
back at that.
But basically, NEMCOG is, the presentation was at their meeting, and I won't say they're pushing it, but
Sure.
they're saying this would be better information, more information on individuals.
What kind of cost would Joseph back to the county?
I'm not going to discuss the cost right now.
Okay.
Because I get it wrong, because there were so many
Okay.
options of, if we have a person, like say, in the clerk's office, who wants to go to, I think it's a 2 or 3 day training thing, then they can download the information of ours into their system, or they can come into an individual. It costs us that bad.
Is this a pick and choose for an individual county? Or is it all of them?
It'd be all of them, everybody who gets into the program, yeah. If you want to give that information forward, yes. Then they will continue, they'll still do their little bit where they call and get the information for everybody. As much as they do,
That's correct.
but they don't do things like, apparently, that's what they're telling me at the meeting, they won't do the benefit package. They don't know, they will actually have the contracts, so that you can physically bring it up and look at the contract and that way of other counties, so.
Well, I think there's a benefit to knowing
Mhm.
about it. Should-
I
should
think
we see
Adam,
to it?
I think
It's
Adam
scheduled.
wanted to, I talked to Adam a little bit about it. want the presentation come
I
forward,
think it's a good idea.
I will try to get that presentation done. So they can come. If, it'll
Sure,
probably
Mr.
be,
Brother-in-law, this-
probably be a Zoom one,
Okay,
because they were already Zoom. That's all
yeah,
I
that
have.
sounds like a. If nothing else, we would understand it better.
Mhm.
You
Oh,
know the
yeah, yeah.
price.
Hmm?
You know the price.
I know the price. I'm just
I
not
know
gonna
you-
quote you. I'm just not gonna
We
quote
all
you.
know. the price,
It's
so-
not, it's.
And what you all.
Well, we worked on some program things, but ACCOA, they have a signed contract with us for the next year, and it's been documented. It's been sent email to us. I'll get it. If you haven't received it through Adam, I will get you a copy upstairs. We had a good meeting prior to their meeting. We had a meeting with the lawyers and so forth, and worked out the details. And they presented it to their board, and the outcome was that they agreed and did the signatures. They also are looking into and moving forward with it's like a chair elevator to get people upstairs from the main entryway. Lenny has looked into a couple different companies and worked with one that was realistic to getting up that big set of stairs. They're looking at the future, which would be in a new building, but on the same token, they have to live within what they have. And that was one of the big issues of getting people to be able to use the building that they have, is to get upstairs. So I know he's working on that to get that forward. Of course, food costs and everything else is going up, and that's hurting their bottom line sometimes. So other than that, we've been dealing with some the EMS. It's a negotiation, but with a mediator on Friday, and we've been preparing for that.
Thank you, Bill.
Can I ask just one question on you're in mediation with that contract?
Yeah,
Will be,
mediation.
okay.
Yeah.
And is it still 3 sessions of mediation before you go to binding?
We're hopeful that providing names.
Oh, no.
We haven't,
I put that word hopeful there.
we haven't,
We don't.
But typically you would have 3 mediation meetings before you go to binding. Is that correct? So
I think so.
I'm just,
That hasn't been mentioned, but I think that's right.
that's just for my information. Yeah.
As indicated, Bill, I've been working on personnel. We had a sunrise meeting, which I did by Zoom, since we had one of our clients who tested, actually 2 of our clients who had tested positive for COVID. No way I was going in that building. 211 meeting, a 911, and LAPC and LAPC. We talked about possible needs for the county with that Homeland Security dollar. And 911. Okay. Public comment limited to 5 minutes. Please identify yourself. Anyone here have comment? Yes.
I don't have anywhere else to go. I'm just curious on how the equalization meeting went with the assessors as far as being the last year of the contract. I was unable to, I attended via Zoom, but I didn't catch all of it. So I just wondered what was the
I wasn't
outcome.
part of it and then got called out, and so I wasn't into enough of it to, I don't really have a good answer for it.
I don't have an answer.
I know that Troy is not here for 3 days, so okay.
All right, we'll check that.
Sorry.
Thanks.
Does Dan have anything?
Dan, anything for us? And do you have any comments on the
Anything.
Survey.
from NEMCOG?
Talking to me, Dan?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I thought I'd get together with Bill. We can do it on phone and go over that survey. I think we can handle it. Maybe Cheryl we can do it too, the ARPA committee. I don't know if we can get a committee fast enough together to answer that survey correctly, but that was my intention.
Okay, I think it has to be done by tomorrow, doesn't it?
Friday, maybe? I'm hoping Friday.
Well, we're having, I think we're having a finance meeting at 2:00 today. I don't know, Bill, if you can attend that too, we could probably go through that survey pretty quick, but that was my intention.
Sounds like good intentions.
A couple other things, that Alcona County flood resolution, I didn't get anything on that. Could you read that? Alcona Township, I mean,
Read it,
Yes.
could you read it?
It was attached.
yes. That's why I said I would not be able to vote yes on it at this time.
Well, I know, but I haven't even seen it. I didn't get anything on it. I just didn't know if you could read it at this time, so I understand what it is.
Pages,
Oh, it was sent this morning.
Oh, okay.
had it for a while.
Yeah, it was sent in your first commissioner's email with your packet.
Okay, I just opened up the second one, okay. And also, I had a chat there, but wasn't it my impression that last week, at the last meeting, the board approved the ad for the auditor to be put in the paper, but that hasn't been done yet?
Right.
My understanding also.
Okay,
That's correct.
okay. My only other chat was, I thought Doug looked good sitting in that chair.
Anyone else? Hi, Lenny. I don't see anyone else indicating that they wish to speak at this time during public comment.
Hello, how are you guys doing?
Anything you'd like to share with us, Lenny?
We have a pop-up food pantry at the Senior Center on February 16th, open to Alcona County residents.
Where is that going to be?
At the Senior Center.
Okay. Anything else?
And then we have another food drive also on Wednesday, the 9th. That one you would have to call to register. Phone number is 989-335 food, FOOD.
Anything else?
Oh, I was off by a digit. 989-334 food, 334 food. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Lenny. Anyone else that's on Zoom that wishes to participate in public comment? Seeing and hearing none, we'll come back. Commissioners have any final comments or additional comments?
Nothing from me.
Wishing everyone
Hearing
well.
none, I would share with you, if you didn't know, that Bucks County Phil saw his shadow, and there are 6 more weeks of winter. Pardon?
I read his dad.
And if you didn't notice, today is 22/2. The second month, the second day of 22nd year of the century.
And it's also my mother's birthday.
Oh, did you sing happy birthday?
No, she would. It would be hilarious, but no, you don't have to.
Okay, if there's nothing further, we will stand adjourned. Thank you all for participating, especially those of you on Zoom. And we will see everyone again, I hope, on February 16th at 1:30. Well,
Well done, Madam Chair.
Can I kick everybody off and just, are you staying?
I guess I have to. I'm gonna go get something that could be big.
Ask Sheila. Is that still on the microphone?